Attorney David Boies has argued landmark cases in front of the Supreme Court. He represented Al Gore in the case deciding the 2000 presidential election. He also fought to overturn California's gay marriage ban, paving the way for marriage equality. Boies is now chairman of the law firm Boies, Schiller Flexner, and we're pleased to have him. Welcome.
Good to be here.
He is enormously brilliant as an attorney.
Yeah, I think absolutely. And as a judge, I think that President Trump was right last night when he said he is somebody with tremendous legal skills, a brilliant mind, outstanding discipline. I think all those things are true about him. I also think he is somebody who is not in the ideological mainstream.
Ideologically, where is he compared to Justice Scalia?
He is probably comparable, maybe even a little more conservative on some issues than Justice Scalia. He's got a wide variety of views, and we don't know all that much about him because he's been on the Court of Appeals that doesn't get quite the same mix of cases.
But let me just understand where you stand, David. Would you be, are you recommending that the Democrats not support him?
I think the Democrats have got to take a very careful look at him. This presents a dilemma, I think. You have somebody who is a brilliant legal mind, somebody who, if you had an academic test for judges, would pass all those tests. On the other hand, he is not in what I believe to be the mainstream of judicial thought. And one of the things that we learned from Judge Garland is that it's not enough to be a brilliant judge. It's not enough to be a great judge. If that were true, there wouldn't be a vacancy. Judge Garland would be in that seat.
But you heard Lindsey Graham say a minute ago that he's mucho happy. The Democrats appear to be mucho mad.
Exactly.
So it seems like we're getting into, David, a tit-for-tat situation. The Democrats are still bruised because of what happened with Judge Merrick Garland. Do you think that it's now becoming such a political issue and not really about what's important for the Supreme Court?
I think it's both. And I think what is important for the Supreme Court is that you do have ideological balance. You can't have a rule that only Republican presidents get to appoint Supreme Court justices and the Democrats have to accept whoever the Republican puts up. I think it's unfortunate. I was on this program a few months ago and talking about Merrick Garland. And I thought it was unfortunate that he wasn't confirmed. I think it's unfortunate that we've gotten into a situation in which people are looking at trying to appoint people that are a sure vote to the left or the right.
There's a lot of talk that this is about the second pick that President Trump gets to make, because, of course, Gorsuch would replace another conservative Scalia. But there's a front page piece in the New York Times that picking Gorsuch, since he had clerked for Justice Kennedy, would allow Kennedy the idea that perhaps he could retire. And that's the swing vote.
That's the second shoe to drop, and very obviously very important.
Do you think it's maybe one strategy I heard, let this one go and really save your fire for the potential Kennedy vote?
I don't think people are going to see it that way. The Senate has got a responsibility to advise and consent. It requires 60 votes. If the Republicans want to abandon the 60-vote requirement, they can do that, but there will be a time when the Democrats are in the majority, and that'll come back to help them.
But here's what's interesting about this. When he was confirmed by the Senate for the Court of Appeals, it was almost a unanimous vote.
Same thing with Judge Garland. People will be confirmed for lower court judges.
It always comes back to this, because you did this to Garland, we're going to do this to...
I don't think it's that so much. It's not so much tit for tat. What it is that you've got to have balance. And if you don't have balance, you don't have a balanced Supreme Court. And so you've got to have the same rule for Republicans and Democrats. If you don't do that, you don't have balance on the Supreme Court.
David Boies, you have the last word. It's always good to have you at the table.
Yeah,
good to see
so
you.
smart.
Thank you.